Make no mistake about it, the 2024 Olympics, the opening ceremony was all about relaying a message. Even if you are someone that does not plan to watch the 2024 Olympics or has not watched the Olympics in a long time, more than likely you still looked up the opening ceremony just to see what the controversy is all about. There is a much deeper message at play here than just them mocking Christianity. It's all about what's in store for the future. When France's president Emmanuel Macron found out that Paris was hosting the 2024 Olympics, this is the gesture he made on camera with those sitting next to him. Back in 2017, they were letting us know who the architects were going to be when it comes to the message behind the 2024 Olympics and also what's in store for the future through their compass and square hand signs. This gesture would also eerily parallel the 2012 Olympics. Now, the 2012 opening ceremony for the Olympics and the 2024 opening ceremony for the Olympics do have some things in common. One of the biggest things that both ceremonies had in common: people share the same sentiment that what they were watching felt off, it felt wrong. The message they were trying to display had nothing to do with sports. Now, going back to the hand gestures that were made during the 2017 Paris announcement for the 2024 Olympics, we can see this same symbolism playing out surrounding the 2012 Olympic Stadium. Surrounding the stadium, we can see pyramids, or essentially the compass and square, once again letting us know who the architects are. Now, if you do not know by now who the architects are and what the compass and square symbolizes, all you have to do is look up a certain free people society. Now, I can't say who they are, but we are talking about 33rd degrees and higher. Some people do believe that 33rd degrees is the highest degrees that there are, but there are secret degrees that go above the 33 degrees. The reason why I do not like saying their name on YouTube happens to be YouTube will pick up on you saying that, and they will give you that bright blue bar of fact checking, of context. We are already walking on eggshells just talking about the 2024 opening ceremony. A lot of channels are finding their videos being deleted, being removed, just by giving their opinion on the opening ceremony. Both the 2024 and the 2012 Olympics opening ceremony had a theme, and that theme was death. For the 2024 Olympics, we can see a hooded figure. This hooded figure represents death. We can also see this hooded figure in the 2012 Olympics, but we will get back to that. But when it comes to the 2024 opening ceremony, we also see them mocking the Last Supper. The Last Supper also has a theme of death. It's the Last Supper before Jesus is crucified. We can see Marie Antoinette with her head cut off. We can also see the pale horse. The pale horse is death, and then hell will follow. The 2012 opening ceremony also had the same theme. They also had a message, and that message was carried out successfully. Now, during the 2012 opening ceremony, we can see hospital beds. The hospital beds are circling around a hooded figure. This hooded figure is the Grim Reaper. Back in 2012, when people were making an uproar about this imagery, saying it was demonic, there were those that were saying, no, this is not demonic. This is Harry Potter. This is Voldemort. This is not the Grim Reaper. What you believe is a needle in his hand, what looks like a needle in his hand, is actually a wand. But you have to understand, they, and when I say they, I'm talking about the powers that be, will and always have used Hollywood to give us the truth in plain sight. They will give you the message through Hollywood. They will tell you the truth. And when you try to push it back, when you try to respond, they will have those come out and say, no, you're crazy. They're not giving you a message at all. This is clearly Harry Potter. It is a sick and twisted game for them where they have to tell you the truth, where they have to show you the truth, but at the same time, they have found a roundabout way to push it back, to dismiss it. The same exact thing they did during the 2024 Olympics. They were mocking the Last Supper, but then they can put a blue man in a food tray and say, no, we're not mocking the Last Supper. This is the Feast of Dionysus. Don't you see the man in the food tray? They can show us the Grim Reaper holding a needle surrounded by hospital beds, a message that correlates to the C-19, and then they can give us that pushback of, no, this is Voldemort holding a wand. This is Harry Potter. What is also rather interesting is that during this scene with the Grim Reaper holding the needle surrounded by hospital beds, you can also see dancing nurses, and these dancing nurses are poking their hands. Now, I can't play this video footage because the Olympics, they copyrighted their videos. Anybody playing their videos, they will get a strike by YouTube, and the video will be deleted. These dancing nurses would also play a vital role during the C-19 and them mocking us. They told us the hospitals were overcrowded, they were understaffed, they were overworked, but at the same time, they found time to dance on camera. This is clear mockery. They danced as they carried out body bags. You think that's normal? No, they were insulting you. They were playing with your intelligence. Once again, mocking you, as they are doing with the 2024 opening ceremony. Just like the 2024 Olympics, how they had imagery of horses, the pale horse and the white horse, the 2012 Olympics also had the imagery of horses as well, the black horse, which represents pestilence. You might be saying, Minutes of Horror, this is a reach. The C-19 happened in 2019. We're talking about the 2012 Olympics 7 years apart. But you have to understand the C-19 is not something they designed overnight. They were working on this for years. Just like with what happened during 9/11. They were working on what happened that day for years. They were showing us imagery of what was going to take place for years. What is also rather interesting, supposedly the dancing nurses, Voldemort or the Grim Reaper, and the hospital beds was a tribute to the NHS, the National Health System. Danny Boyle, the creator of the 2012 opening ceremony, said at last minute, the forces wanted him to axe the NHS celebration, this sequence. I guess it was showing or revealing a little too much for what was in store for the future, but they still let the sequence play out. We even had CERN at the 2012 opening Olympics. We had news articles blasting the 2012 opening Olympics, once again giving it controversy for everybody to see. They are saying that, who is Tim Berners-Lee? What does he have to do with sports? Tim Berners-Lee, he is the architect behind the World Wide Web. Tim Berners-Lee worked for CERN. Tim Berners-Lee created and founded the World Wide Web while working for CERN. Why is he there? Why is he being represented? We don't know. The 2012 Olympics did take place in London. Tim Berners-Lee is British. But as these news articles are saying, nobody knows Tim Berners-Lee. They know the World Wide Web, but they don't know Tim Berners-Lee. But they wanted that CERN representation there. Right under the pyramids, right under the compass and square, we can see the words, "This is for everyone." The message was loud and clear what was going to take place for the future, and it came to fruition. Once again, when it comes to the 2024 opening ceremony, we are given a message, and people once again feel the same sentiment that something is wrong, something's off. They do not like what they are watching. Some are even refusing to watch the opening ceremony because they know there is a ritual taking place here. What is the message behind the 2024 Olympics? What is to come? That message is one, unity, a one world. Now, you may have another interpretation as to what they are showing us here, and I would love to hear it in the comment section below. And this is my opinion, this is what I see. But I believe that message, once again, is unity. It is not the unity that you would like. The unity that they are showing us is a one world government, a one world religion. Even as they explained their mockery of the Last Supper, they said that they were not trying to mock any certain religion. They were just trying to be inclusive.
And clearly there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. On the contrary, I think that Thomas Joly really tried to really intend to celebrate community tolerance. That was his word yesterday. And looking at the result of the polls that we shared, we believe that this ambition was achieved. If people have taken any offense, we are, of course, really, really sorry.
It was a ceremony like no other, and those are games like no other. I think that are hosts. It's easy for me to say, and we should all be grateful and thankful. They have put together a vision for these games, which is unprecedented. It's an incredible vision for a games. We're trying to showcase that in the best possible way.
Mais notre intention n'a jamais été d'être impertinent ou d'être subversif, comme je l'ai dit tout à l'heure. Notre idée, c'est simplement que oui, dans cette grande diversité, il y a besoin d'être conjointement. Nous avons en tout cas voulu nous conjointement inclure tout le monde. Voilà.
And they got that message across. They even had the singer Juliette Armanet, whose social media is filled with nothing but free people imagery. They had her sing the song Imagine, John Lennon's Imagine, that has to do with one, people becoming one. There are news articles coming out how a Polish journalist was suspended for calling Imagine a vision of communism during Olympic opening. So once again, they can give you the message, they can show you the message, but when you call it out, they will push you back. TVP, the broadcaster, issued a statement Saturday saying the journalist and the sports commentator would not be allowed to comment on air anymore during the summer's games. So again, you can take the message, you can accept the message, but you're not allowed to explain or talk about the actual message. This is sick. This is absolutely sick. We knew this was coming, this one world government. We knew it was in the works. But it's still absolutely sick to see the message of this one world government playing out. Then we have people focusing on the pale horse. Now the pale horse is indeed very important, but there was a second horse that we should also take note of as well that was shown to us during the ceremony, that being the white horse. Every country's flag is in unity following the rider on the white horse, except one. There is one country's flag missing among these flags. Can you guess which country that is? Now, again, I can't name that country on YouTube, but I will give you a hint. That country starts with the letter I. So then who is the rider on the white horse that all these countries are following in unity? Well, this rider has two different identities. The rider can either be Jesus Christ, or the rider can either be the Antichrist. Given the fact that they were called out for mocking Christianity, it makes a lot of sense that the rider that is being displayed to us during this ceremony happens to be the Antichrist. We have all these countries in unity following the Antichrist. To prove the rider they are displaying to us is not Jesus Christ, once again they are mocking Christianity because a surfer was forced to remove the image of Jesus Christ on his surfboard. Before the opening ceremony, a Brazilian surfer was asked to remove an image of Christ from his surfboard to avoid disqualification from the Olympic Games. There was a rule enforcement 2 weeks before the Games. The Brazilian surfer Chianca was ordered to remove the image to comply with the Olympics rules on religious neutrality. What did those who are in charge of the Olympics tell us? They told us that they were not mocking the Last Supper, but they were showing us inclusivity. They were being inclusive. But if you have an image of Jesus Christ on your surfboard, you have to get rid of that because that's not the type of inclusivity that we want. So of course, the rider to them anyway on the white horse is not Jesus Christ. The pale horse represents the destruction, the chaos, that will come to bring this one world government. The message to me anyway is loud and clear. The message is one world. Now, I have covered this one world message multiple times on this channel, especially when I talk about the 2024 Economist magazine cover. We can see the world leaders color-coded red and blue, just like at the top where we can see the merging of the solar eclipse, the moon and the sun. We can see at the bottom the as above, so below. We can see at the bottom the merging of the red and the blue, once again symbolizing the world leaders merging together. We also have on the UN's website, the United Nations, the 2030 Agenda. The 2030 Agenda is not just for any one country, but for all countries to follow. These are the rules and policies for all countries around the world. Something big is coming. Something big is on the horizon, and they are giving us a message to get ready to be one, get ready for this one world government. But again, if this is not what you see, I would like to know what you see in the comment section below. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.